Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about why Isla Sorna looks so radically different in Jurassic Park 3 when compared to its earlier appearance in The Lost World. So, in the first sequel to the original Jurassic Park, we're introduced to an entirely new island that's separate from Nublar. This new island, dubbed Site B by InGen, was actually the factory floor for the company, and a location where most of their dinosaurs would be grown, despite some species being already observed as hatching on Nublar in the previous film. Now, if you've seen the two movies that currently feature Isla Sorna, you've probably noticed that each film has a radically different look to the island when compared to its counterpart. In 1997's Lost World, we're introduced to a wide variety of redwood forests, elephant grass, and the occasional palm tree that can be spotted in the background. However, in 2001's Jurassic Park 3, the entire landscape of Site B is depicted as being drastically different to the earlier film in almost every way. Now we're shown vegetation and jungle that is native to Hawaii, which was both the filming location of that sequel as well as the original Jurassic Park. If we take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes material, like, let's say, the shooting script, we can see that when they were actually filming the movie, the idea was that Alan Grant and the others were actually visiting locations that we all saw in the second film. For example, the moment Sam Neill looks through the destroyed window of that one vehicle in JP3, the script actually states that this is supposed to be the same vehicle that the Raptor broke into during the end of the second movie. There's also a lot of other references to Lost World in the script that didn't make it into the final cut, such as Eric Kirby finding Dieter Stark's stun rod, and even the location of the Embryonics Administration being simply redressed and repurposed from the already existing worker village set. But really, the choice to film in Hawaii instead of California opened up a lot of inconsistencies between the two films when you watch them back to back. Essentially, we're given an environment that looks noticeably more like what was featured on Isla Nublar instead of the Lost World's Isla Sorna. However, since JP3 is in fact canon, and since it did indeed take place in the series timeline, this retroactive landscape change is still factually Site B. I know that for a lot of people it's difficult to really think of Isla Sorna looking any differently to how it did in the Lost World, because that was the island's honest introduction. But JP3 changed all of that with its new interpretation. Now, there has been a lot of interesting conjecture and speculation over the years on why Site B looks the way it does in 2001 when you compare it to the vegetation that we saw in 1997. But honestly, a lot of this stuff boils down to pure fan theories at the end of the day, with no serious canon explanation to back it up. So, while I do think that it's interesting to think of Jurassic Park 3 taking place on a radically different portion of the island than the Lost World, its exact location wasn't ever really explicitly stated in any of the films or surrounding material. The closest we ever got was just a map that was featured in the Jurassic World Lego game from 2015, and even that seems kind of inaccurate to really take to heart. Of course, the reality of why Sorna looks so different in JP3 is because, originally, it wasn't supposed to be Sorna. But I've done enough videos on that in the past to even bother with going into those details again. The reason I'm bringing all of this up is because recently, Hawaii has been confirmed as a shooting location for the next installment in the Jurassic World trilogy. And since Nublar was destroyed in Fallen Kingdom, I personally think it's entirely possible that Site B might make a brief cameo in that film if they decide to dress the island in a similar way to how it looked in the third Jurassic movie. Personally, I would really prefer them to just simply shoot where Lost World was, but I'm sure there are lots of other fans out there that would really love to see the JP3 aesthetic return in the future. The only other reason I can think of for Colin Trevorrow to shoot in Hawaii for the next movie would be for some sort of flashback, which hey, I would ultimately welcome in the next film. As far as how Isla Sorna will look in any other future material, it's hard to really say. But I think Jurassic Park 3 makes it abundantly clear that the island has far more varied landscapes and vegetation than what we saw in the second film in the series. The script doesn't make it make any sense, but if we just imagine the entire plot taking place on some other part of the island, it kind of works in its own weird way. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it seriously means the world to me that you've all continued to support me the way you do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's video, and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next one, guys, and as always, take it easy.